Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Gaming Reaper. Today, I want to take a little sidestep from the casual PC gaming, as I like to say, and focus a little bit more on other gaming. Because I actually had someone ask me, are all you're going to do is just work on PC games? And no, when I mean Gaming Reaper, I game anything that is a game that I find to be fun. And today, we're going to be talking about the game I like to call X-Wing. Now, a lot of you are probably already seeing these, and a lot of these ships are probably looking familiar to a lot of you. And this is actually my entire Rebel Alliance collection, along with some of the Resistance fighters, as you can see here, with some of the new T-70 X-Wings from the new Force Awakens movie. So, just wanted to show them off, show what I have in my collection, and what ships I kind of use usually. I mean, obviously, you cannot not use all these ships in a standard match. And for some of y'all who don't understand the different match formats is, every pilot, every ship has a certain point value, similar to the game Warhammer 40,000, if any of you kind of are familiar with that. So, at most you might see me use around 3 to 4 of these ships at most, which is usually outnumbered easily by the Empire, because their ships are cheaper. But even if it was in epic format, which is 3 times the standard size of a regular match, but even then I can't use all these because it's still way too many ships, even if I took the cheapest pilots possible. However, in epic matches, that's the only time I can use the Rebel transport ship, as you can see here. I also have the Tantive. However, it's stored away at the moment, and I don't want to try and dig it out. But I will if you guys ask for it, and I will show it off. And if you are not familiar with what the Tantive is, if you've ever seen Star Wars A New Hope, it's the ship that Leia was in trying to run away from the Star Destroyer. So that gives you an idea what that ship is. It's pretty big. It's definitely much bigger than that one. It's probably about maybe that much longer. So it's a pretty big ship compared to it. Yeah. So let me just start talking about some of these different ships I have. Starting off, the most familiar ship that everyone should know, a YT-1300, aka Millennium Falcon. Iconic ship in the Star Wars universe. Its partner ship is a YT-2400, which I believe was in some of the games, but never showed up in any of the movies. Famous pilots for this are like Dash Rendar, who's pretty cool actually. As you said, these here are the T-70s. I have 5 of them in my collection. And I actually plan to field them in my Epic League. We're going to start up our second portion of our Epic League. I'm going to try and get those on video for y'all, because those will be epic battles instead of the regular standard. Supporting my Epic list will be with those 5 and the Millennium Falcon, of course, piloted by Han Solo, because I can't have anyone else. We'll also have these cheap little ships here. They were the cheapest ships the Rebel Alliance had in the beginning. They were pretty much a starter car, in a sense, in the universe. These are just the Z-95 Headhunters. They're very cheap, and no, these are not X-Wings. They look like them, but they are not. Because these here are the original X-Wings. And I'll be running the back 2 with a Wedge and a Luke with upgrades. And again, I will load up a separate video for my league, and if people ever want to know what my list is, just make sure you comment down below if you want to see that. Here's a unfamiliar ship a lot of people are not used to seeing, which is the Hawk 290. It's a combination kind of between a freighter ship, I want to say. I could be saying the classification wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's also a fighter in a way. So it's like a cross between the two. Here we have the iconic A-Wings, seen from Return of the Jedi. I always loved this ship. However, I never had the greatest luck. They're usually dead pretty early in the game for me, even if I try to keep them away from the enemy. And then we here have the E-Wings. The E-Wings never showed up in the movies. They were an idea, a concept idea, between combining an X-Wing with an A-Wing. So as you can see, it's got similar designs between them. Obviously, he's got the cone design of like an X-wing and the cockpit, and a little bit of similarities. They really remind me of the Kyrax fighters that are in the Scum faction. Sadly, I do not have any pirate ships yet in my collection. Moving over, we have my favorite ship in the series, the Y-Wing Bombers. And I have repainted this one because I love running Gray Squadron pilots, and they all look like Gold Squadron pilots, obviously, with the gold trim. So I made a special version of a Gray Squadron pilot to represent Horton. So yeah, that's the Y-Wing Bombers. Here we have a ship that never showed up in the movies. It was in some of the books, and I'm not sure if it was any of the games. But this here was the K-Wing bomber. The K-Wing obviously gets its name from the wing shape, as you can see. But the K-Wing, I find it a very interesting ship because it is highly maneuverable for a bomber, which has caught me off guard on a couple of matches. This ship here can just clear half the table in a couple of actions on the first turn. So, and it carries a much bigger payload than the standard Y-Wing bomber. So, yeah. In the back here, we have another familiar ship you will have seen. Not much, but they were in Return of the Jedi. The B-Wing bombers. Not B-Wings, bombers. Just B-Wings. Wow, I'm on a roll today. Alright, B-Wings, I like them. Is they have high firepower. They have okay maneuverability on the table. But on the flip side, they're pretty much similar to the Y-Wing bombers. Meaning on health-wise. The Y-Wing bombers have 5 health and 3 shields, which is a total of 8 health points. It's pretty much the same with the B-Wings, except they have 5 shields and 3 health. So it's still an 8 health point ship, but the shields are better than the actual hull, in my opinion, because then you can avoid critical hits, results, and stuff. You just lose shield, that's it. And then we have the Rebel transport ship in my collection. Only for epic play format. It has no weapons. However, it has a lot of supportive abilities that I can use to buff my other ships or just to harass the enemy. The only problem is it has no defensive value, so if a bunch of TIE fighters or X-Wings gang up on it, it's gonna go down pretty fast if I'm not careful. Funny story is, I love this ship because I've actually killed Darth Vader with it. So, even though it doesn't have weapons, after this ship moves, if it overlaps any of these small ships, meaning mine or my opponent's, it instant kills that pilot. And that's what I ended up doing. I saw Darth Vader, I saw where he was going, and I said, I bet he's going to go there, so let's try and run him over. And we did, and that's probably one of the greatest highlights for this ship. So, but yeah, that there is my X-Wing list for Rebels. Next, I will show you my Imperials, and we'll show that now. Okay guys, welcome back. This here is my Imperial collection. As you see, I got a nice little collection of Imperials, but let's get right to it and let me describe what I got here. So, starting off with the big ship here, it is the Vindicator. The Vindicator is the Empire's version, I like to say, of a Millennium Falcon. She has a full 360-degree fire, can hold crew members just like a Falcon, and a really, really beefy ship. That's probably the biggest thing about it I like. She has 12 hull points and 4 shields, so for a total of 16 health and 3 attack. The only downside is it has no defenses whatsoever, so if anyone shoots at it and they hit it, Those hits can't be canceled. So it's pretty much kill the opponent as quickly as you can. Next to it, we have the iconic ship of Star Wars, the Imperial TIE Fighters. These guys are pretty nasty if you bring them in swarms. I've been defeated by swarms. There are tactics to beat them. I just haven't had a list that beats them. So, mainstay unit for a lot of Imperials. And they're really cheap. And just to give you an idea of how cheap they are, you can see 8 of these going against maybe 3 X-Wings at most. So it's numbers in their advantage with some defense dice. Here we have also the iconic TIE Advance, also known as Darth Vader's ship. And Darth Vader is one of the ships I bring in my league matches and tournaments. And the only upgrade, for those of you who are familiar with X-Wing, the only upgrade I bring him with is the Juke ability.
Good news, everyone!
Yeah, thank you, Professor. So yes, I try and keep him cheap for a pilot skill 9. Here we have the TIE Defender. This ship never made it to the movies, just like the Vindicator never did. The TIE Defender is a pretty nasty ship. Has 3 stats all across, so 3 attack, 3 defense, 3 hull, 3 shields for a total of 6 health. It's a nice beefy ship with some good firepower on it. Much better than the regular TIE Fighters. Only downside is they're kind of expensive, and I don't see people flying too often. Maybe I'll see one, but I'll never see more than one in the list. But still a pretty cool ship. I like it. Here we have another movie iconic. The Fire Spray, also known as the Slave One, which is piloted by none other than the infamous Bubba, the bounty hunter. This is his Imperial version that I'm fielding. He can be flown as an alternate version for the Scum and Villainy faction, which comes in the Most Wanted box set. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. Here we have my double Lambda shuttles, seen in Return of the Jedi. These here were to transport the Emperor and Imperial officials around. It's a good support vehicle, in my opinion. Only problem is, if your opponent is behind it, it's pretty much screwed at that point. It doesn't have the maneuverability to get around to get back around, do fire back. But he does have some good stuff. Good pilots I like to use in them. I've repainted one because I did field him in one of my standard matches. And he actually did all right. He survived and managed to distract the enemy and support my fighters, which annihilated my opponent. Here we have a TIE Punisher in the front, flanked by 2 original TIE bombers. Bombers we saw in Empire Strikes Back. And then the TIE Punisher, obviously, we would have remembered if we saw this in the movies. This little beefy guy is just nasty. 9 health altogether for maybe 20 some points. As a fighter, it's pretty nice. Even if I don't field it anytime soon, because I just recently got it, I'm not sure what type of build I want to use for it. It does come with a lot of nice upgrade cards, which you can use on other ships. Like I have bomb cards I can use on my regular bombers. And it also comes with the famous twin ion engine upgrade, which makes these ships much more maneuverable. And it can be used on any of these ties, any of them. Because that upgrade card says it can be used on any tie. So, here we have the TIE Interceptors, my favorite fighter out of the Imperials. These guys are nicely not agility, maneuverable. They do have high agility though for defense. And I do have a Royal Guard set on the way from the Imperial Aces expansion, and it's a red one that represents the Royal Guard pilots who protect the Emperor when he is out and flying about in a shuttle, usually. So I repainted one of them to look like a First Order, because I like the way the First Order is colored up. I still need to get the inside panels. I'm still debating if I want to paint them white. I'll take comments, however, from people on what y'all think, and I'll repaint it. If y'all think it will look better with white panels on the inside also. So yeah, there's that. Here we also have my another favorite ship, the TIE Phantom. This year I can fly it all over the place and just dodge everything. This ship has the capability of cloaking, and right now it's the only ship in the game that can cloak. I know Scum and Villainy is supposed to get a ship that can cloak later, soon to come out later in March. Not sure when, because the company that makes the stuff, Fantasy Flight, doesn't really get a good date when they're going to release new ships. But it's a really nice ship, a lot of firepower, 4 attack dice, compared to like 3 on this and then 2 on the TIE fighter. So it's got double the firepower of a regular TIE fighter. And while it's cloaked, yes, you can still be shot at. It's just, it's harder to hit because you get extra defense dice while she's cloaked. And then we have my First Order TIE fighters, which were upgraded compared to the original TIE fighters. So these guys can target lock. They have a different maneuver dial for how they move on the table, and I just love that color scheme. I just love it, that white, the black. So there's that, and I got 4 of those in my collection. And then my one epic ship for Imperials, my Gazani class cruiser. Also known, I like to call it the Imperial carrier, because these little clamps on the bottom actually carry TIE fighters. And not just TIE fighters, I can also have it carry interceptors, bombers, or just the original TIE fighters. I can't remember if it can carry the First Order TIE fighters. I want to say yes, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. This ship appeared in the show Star Wars Rebels, and it's a pretty nice ship from what I've seen. She can be upgraded to have a weapon. She can hold a crew, 14 health altogether. So it's an okay ship. What makes it really powerful, in my opinion, is after this ship moves, all the other smaller ships have to move before it, and that's the rules in Epic. So after it's moved, it can actually deploy up to 2 of its docked fighters, which is pretty freaking cool, because I can move them up, see where my opponent has moved, and then deploy the fighters out from the front and have them angled wherever I need them to go to try and flank the enemy or intercept ships that are going to be a problem. And there is an upgrade title where you can deploy all 4 at once. I don't use it too often. So, but yeah, that is my Imperial collection. Give me your comments, what you think, what you see, what you like, what do you think I need more of. Obviously, I don't want more TIE fighters. I think I got plenty of those. But yeah, that is my Imperial collection. So, that is my entire X-Wing collection. minus the Tantive, which I didn't show. But I will show if y'all really want me to. Again, just comment on below. And if you like these things, let me know. If you want to see battle reports with X-Wing, I will gladly start recording those. I'm not sure if I can get my League ones in because it's hard to record and commentary while I'm on a timer. But I will try. Especially if I'm in the epic matches and y'all want to see what an epic game looks like. So, but yeah, if you guys like this, be sure to subscribe. But until then, guys, keep on gaming, and signing out, Gaming Reaper.